we used yesterday and day before yesterday, the SCAPI module. So it is the same module that we will be using. Okay. So what we'll do is that we will now, let's say what we do is that we do from SCAPI. Okay. From so what the first thing we'll do is that we'll run the SCAPI software. Okay. And it will take some time to get kind of run. And now it is running. Okay. So what we'll do is that we will also start capturing the packets. So right now there is no packet over here. Okay. And now what we'll do is that let me quickly start with the coding. So the first thing we need to do is we need to kind of load the module. Okay. So we load the module, the SCAPI module using this line from scapi.all import star. Okay. Then let's say what we do is that we specify the target host that we want to scan. So in this case, we want to scan our own system. So that's why I'm giving the localhost IP address, which is 127.0.0.1. Okay. So now we have a target IP. And let's say the port range. We can also specify over here the port range. So like if you were dealing with the Nmap tool, the thing is that you need to kind of understand, okay, what are the commands line argument for that Nmap. But here in the code itself, you don't need to learn all those things, or you don't need to remember all those things, because the code is yours and you can customize it as per your will. Okay. So here I'd say that, okay, scan all the ports from, let's say, 7,000 to 9,000, for example. Okay. So the port range is 7,000 to 9,000. And if I just say port range, so guys, just give me 1 second. So now what we'll do is that we'll come back and so we know that, okay, we have given the port range of 7,000 to 9,000. And now what we'll do is that we will create a list. We'll create a list, okay, which will record, okay, what are the open ports. Okay, so we'll create an empty list for now, and this list will only hold, let's say, all the ports that are open on the host right now. Okay, so for now this HTTP server is running, and let's say I'm also running over here Python 3 -m http.server and port number 8090, for example. Okay, so there are two web servers running on my host, one on 8090 and one on 88,000. Okay, so what our objective is that without using the Nmap tool, can we figure out okay, what are the open ports in my system? Okay, so now let's see. So what we did is that we created an empty list, and now what we will do is that we will run a loop. We'll run a loop where we say that, okay, for like port in port range. Okay, so what it will do is that it will the value of the port will be, once it will be like, let's say it will start with 7,000 and it will keep on incrementing till 9,000 port number. Okay, one by one. So for the first time in the loop, the port value will be 7,000. The next time it will be 7,001 and so on. Okay, so now what we'll do is that over here, or let's say I'm trying to kind of, let's say I'll try to kind of teach you guys in a very easy way, for example. So what we do is that we create a packet. We create a packet where we say packet is equal to, we add the IP header, and in the IP header we say, okay, destination is the target IP, the one that we have already set up earlier, which is the localhost. Okay, so we want to create a packet where we have an IP header with the destination IP address as target IP address, and the TCP header that that packet will have. Okay, in that TCP packet, what we want is that we set the D port as, let's say, 7,000 for an example. 7,000 for an example. Okay, so that means we want to scan the 7,000 port number, and to scan that, as you have seen that, okay, the nmap actually sent out a SYN packet. So in similar way, what we'll do is that we'll set a flag, and in the flag we will say that, okay, send, we'll set that flag as SYN. Okay, now if this packet gets sent out, it will actually, so now let me just quickly give 1 second. Okay, give me 1 second, guys. I think there's some kind of an issue. Um, let me do something. Let me create an IP packet first, and here I will say destination is, let's say, 127.0.0.1. Okay, so this is one thing. And if we do ipp.so, we'll see that, okay, we'll see the same thing, that there has been a IP header with source and destination address, and destination address is something that we have put up. In similar way, we will set up a TCP packets where we say TCP and D port. We say TCP, something like this. Okay, just like blank one. And if we see this TCP, we see that, okay, what all parameter does it take. So we can kind of fill out the D port, and we can also fill out the flags over here. So flag by default is SYN actually. We don't need to kind of set it out, but we'll set the D port. Okay, that is something we want to scan. Okay, so what we'll do is that we will say D port equal to 7,000, and now let's see. So it says that, okay, D port is 7,000. It had actually kind of just figure out something like some file server just for its own sake, but we don't need to worry about that. The destination port is already set with 7,000 port number, and the flag is SYN. Okay, now to specify the flag value manually, what we can do is that we can say flags equal to SYN. Okay, and this is how we will create the TCP header, right? And now what we'll do is that we will combine both of this header, the IP header and the TCP header. Okay, so once we do that, let's kind of see the packets. So the packet is something like this. It has IP header which says that, okay, the destination is localhost, and then it has a TCP header which says that, okay, destination port, the port that you want to scan is, let's say, 7,000, and the flag value is SYN packet. Okay, now what we'll do is that we will try to send this packet out. Okay, we'll try to send this packet out. So we'll say response equal to SR1. So what this SR1 does is that it sends the packet, and it also wait till the time that packet response has came to the system. Okay, so what we'll do is that we'll say that, okay, SR1, and this is the packet that we wanted to kind of send out to the real world. So this is the packet, and then what we do is that we'll set some value like timeout equal to 1. So that means if the reply is not received in, let's say, 1 second, this SR1 will actually exit. This function will actually exit. Otherwise, it will keep on waiting for the response for indefinite amount of period. So we say that if a response is not received in, let's say, next 1 second, exit from that call. Okay. So this is something that we'll do. And then something like verbose equal to 0 to kind of control the amount of information that it kind of send out. Okay. Now, if we do that, if we send out this packet, if we just press enter, the packet will be sent out. Okay. And now if you see, a packet was sent out, which says that, okay, the destination port is 7,000, and the flag that was sent out is actually the SYN flag. If you see over here, the SYN flag in the TCP header, right? So what we can also do is, like, if you see that we have not received any kind of response from the host, right? So what we can do is, if we, so let's see what is the response value. So response value is actually nothing. Okay, so it's actually blank, right? So what we can do is response